Usher and Chilli's romance was one of those iconic early 2000s love stories that looked picture perfect on the surface. Chart-topping hits, red carpet glamour, steamy music videos, and a chemistry that made fans swoon. But behind the scenes, woo baby, the truth hits way harder than any breakup anthem they've ever released. Now the tea is scalding hot because whispers about what Usher went through as a teenager, especially during his time with Diddy, are circling back and giving a whole new context to that infamous breakup with Chilli. Let's rewind for a second. Usher and Chilli met when he was signed to LaFace Records, and that love story kicked off hard. They were the couple. She starred in his music videos like You Remind Me and You Got It Bad, and fans were eating it up. But by 2004, it all came crashing down. Chilli told the world Usher had committed the ultimate no, and she made it crystal clear. There was no coming back from it. He killed it, she said. He did. He really did. She didn't name names. But baby, we all knew what she was saying. Cheating. It was messy, it was public, and it was painful.
He did the ultimate no. You don't do that, and he did that, and I'll never take him back. So it's a done deal. He killed it. He did. He really did.
But here's where it gets deeper. Because while fans were clutching their pearls over the cheating scandal, some people were asking a much bigger question. Not just why did Usher cheat, but what happened to Usher before that made him this way?
Why do men cheat?
I mean, I don't know. I don't have the age-old remedy for stopping a man from doing what a man wants to do, to each his own. Unfortunately, with infidelity, it's a very serious thing. And you either have to work through it, or either you recognize that this isn't obviously the place that you want to be.
And honey, that question leads straight back to Sean Diddy Combs. You see, when Usher was just 14 years old, he was sent to live with Diddy in New York to learn the music business. But what really went down at Diddy's infamous Flavor Camp has always been shrouded in mystery and controversy. There have been rumblings that Diddy and Usher had an inappropriate relationship, so much so that Usher allegedly ended up in the hospital. People close to the situation, like Kim Porter, reportedly knew something was very, very wrong. Even Chilli, who was dating Usher at the time, might have had a front row seat to the aftermath. And that changes everything. Because if Usher was traumatized as a teen, is it really that surprising he struggled with intimacy and trust in his adult relationships? In an old interview, Chilli said she felt like a fool when she learned about Usher's cheating, like everyone else knew, and she was the last to find out. But what if there were things even she didn't know back then? What if Usher was a broken man trying to love while carrying the weight of secrets that weren't his fault? And let's not forget, the rumors didn't stop with Usher. Wendy Williams, Dwight Eubanks, and even Exhibit have made cryptic and not so cryptic comments about Usher's relationships, his marriages, and his alleged time on the down low.
We know the word on the street regarding that marriage and what it's all about.
Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is, but since you're in Atlanta, you can take us in a little bit more. So what is the word on the street and what that marriage is about?
We're going to hold that for a later date, but what you think you heard is what's on the street.
Okay, so he's how you doing.
Exhibit once described a night with Diddy as the gayest night of my life, and he wasn't the only one side-eyeing the vibe. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, said he personally saw men running out of Diddy's hotel room completely naked.
He said, yo, Gene, watch the door, don't let nobody come through here. And I said I watched the door. If I watched the door and him and a man ran out naked, and I said that, ain't nobody told me that. I saw that myself. I'm telling you what I saw myself. I'm not repeating nothing that somebody told me.
And don't even get us started on the story Jaguar Wright told about a lawyer walking in on Diddy and Christopher Williams. These stories all paint a disturbing picture of what might have gone on behind the scenes.
When she walked in, the door wasn't locked, so she didn't think twice about just walking in. And when she walked in, she saw Christopher Williams performing on Puff.
And then there's the alleged connection to Justin Bieber. People are now questioning whether Usher, who took Justin under his wing as a teen, might have unintentionally continued the same toxic mentorship pattern that he experienced. Rumors have been swirling about Diddy and Justin's odd friendship for years, including a very awkward video where a 15-year-old Justin talks about spending 48 hours alone with Diddy. Uncomfortable doesn't even begin to describe it. And yet, Usher has never really spoken out about what happened to him, not directly, but he did hint at something deeper in an old Essence interview when he said, "I want to save some stuff for my book one day." He was all smiles when talking about his business ventures, his music, and his plans for the future. But when the interviewer brought up Diddy, he clammed up fast. Now, why would he need to save that for a book unless there was something serious he was holding back? The Lil Rod lawsuit against Diddy even mentioned an unnamed artist who had a Vegas residency and performed at the Super Bowl. Sound familiar? Because fans were quick to connect the dots and point to Usher again. The lawsuit alleges Diddy bragged about hooking up with two industry men, one being a Philly rapper, allegedly Meek Mill, and the other a Super Bowl performer. Now, we're not saying names, but we're also not blind. Let's be clear, none of this has been officially confirmed. Usher hasn't spilled all the tea, and Diddy continues to deny any wrongdoing. But baby, where there's smoke, there's usually a whole 5-alarm fire. And if even half of this is true, it reframes Usher's entire story, from the cheating scandals to his career choices to his complicated love life. So what now? Do we keep dragging Usher for what he did to Chilli? Or do we take a step back and ask what was done to him? And if he was hurt, who's going to hold those people accountable? It's time we start asking real questions about the entertainment industry, especially when it comes to young stars. These mentorships that are supposed to nurture talent might actually be doing irreparable harm behind closed doors. And if Usher was one of those kids, he's not just a hitmaker or a heartbreaker. He might be a survivor. And as for Chilli, she saw something. Maybe she knew more than she let on, maybe she didn't. But she was there during one of the most formative chapters of Usher's life. And maybe one day, she'll speak out too. Until then, all we can do is listen, stay alert, and stop dismissing these warning signs as just industry gossip. Now I want to know what you think about everything we've unpacked today. Do you believe Usher was just another victim in Diddy's twisted web? And do you think Chilli saw the signs but didn't realize what they meant? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for the next messy update. Because trust me, we're only scratching the surface of what's really going on in this industry.